In this video, I'm going to go over the Peekaboo Footwork, which is the spring to the side and the twist. Probably the most popular videos I get with the most views is the Peekaboo style footwork. Because everybody sees Mike Tyson either twisting or springing to the side. You see it all the time. You see, if you watch the old training videos, you'll see Kevin Rooney, and when Tyson's in sparring, saying, twist, twist, twist to the side, spring to the side. What is the spring? What is the twist? What's the difference? And when to do what in sparring. So the first thing we're going to go over quickly, what is the spring? Remember in your peekaboo stance, all a spring is I'm going to sidestep to the side of my opponent. Now, the spring name comes from is the method or the way I do it, okay? Because, for instance, if I just sidestep, that's not a spring, okay? A spring is more an explosive hopping motion. It's a hop, okay? Let me break it down. It's simple as that. You're going to hop to the side. But a spring, you got to think of, remember how you coil a spring and it goes boing, boing, boing? That's springing. Right? So you're going to spring to the side. So when I spring to the right-hand side, okay, my right-hand side, if I'm an orthodox fighter and I have my right hand, my left hand in the front, I'm going to diagonal step. All right, I'm going to cut the angle and I'm going to step through, land on this ball of the foot. This foot is flat. And then what this does is it preloads my right hand. So when my right hand is preloaded, I drop this foot, rotate on this foot, and I can go right into a straight right hand, a right hook, a right uppercut, a right hook to the body, or a straight right to the body. Those are all my options. Okay, again, remember a spring is, I spring to the right, I throw with the right. That's the difference between, one of the first differences between a spring and a twist. A spring is, if I go to the right, I throw with the right. Okay, a twist is gonna be, when I get into it, is when I twist to the side, I throw with the left. So the difference between the two is if I spring to the right, I throw with the right hand. Now if I twist to the right, I twist to the right, I throw with the left. Okay? They're really different. They both cut the angle. You get to the side of your opponent. You don't want to stay in the middle. Two ways to get to the side is if you stay in the middle, you get your head off one side or the other, and you want to mix it up. You want to keep your head moving. Don't lay on one side or another. Another way is to use your footwork. So I can spring to the side, rotate, fire into my right-hand side, or if I'm on this side, I can twist to my right-hand side, which sets up left hook to the body, left uppercut, left hook to the head. Okay, so that's the difference. All right, so the difference is between the spring and the twist is the spring gets me to the side and I fire with a specific punch. The twist gets me to the side and fire with a specific punch. So just a quick review. If I spring to the right, I throw the right. All right, if I twist to the right, I throw with the left. So you see how the twist now, all it is a hopping sensation. I'm here, I'm gonna see how my feet are here, and I'm gonna hop and go to here. Okay, I'm gonna turn my hips, and that's the twisting motion. I'm twisting my hips, all right? I'm not doing 1-2. I'm not doing a 1-2. I'm not step, step. Both my feet land at the same time. It's a hop. It's an explosive hop in motion. So I twist. You see how I cock that hip, load that rear arm. Now this arm's in the front, and then I can fire with that left arm. Okay, so real quick. Spring, and I can throw with any punch on my right-hand side, or a twist is it loads this side. So another difference between a spring and a twist, the spring can be used on the outside. So if I'm outside, like I can barely touch my opponent with my jab, I ain't gonna do a twist from the outside range. Okay, a twist is used more on the inside. Okay, so let me show you. So let's say if I step in and go 7-2, I can spring to the side from the outside. You see how I'm doing that? I can 7-2, spring to the side, get close to, so go from the outside to the inside, get close to my opponent, cut the angle, and then throw my counter shots. All right, a twist is used more on the inside. So if I'm in close to my opponent, what I usually do is your arms are jammed up. Okay? It's almost like an unattached clench. You both are inside. Remember, I'm getting my head off to one side or the other. If I get my head off on this side, I can twist to the right. See how, watch how this arm is jammed up with my opponent? You got to use your imagination now, okay? My arm is jammed up. Now watch me twist to the side. It freezes, my opponent's here, it frees it to be able to fire. So not only am I getting to the side, I'm freeing up my arm. So if I'm jammed to my opponent, okay, just like if I want to hit him with the right, I spring to the side, which creates space between this arm and my opponent to punch. So the spring and the twist have two goals in mind. To get to the side of my opponent where I'm safer and he's more vulnerable, or to free up when I'm inside close to make space and to free up to be able to punch. Now the same thing can be said on the other side. So the difference between the spring on the right and the spring on the left is when I go right, I step through with this one. It's like I fall. Okay? When I spring to the left, I drive off the rear foot and do a diagonal step with my lead arm. So I spring to my side, stay crouched, and then guess what I can do? When I spring to the left, I can fire the hook. Now I'm like in a southpaw cross, uppercut, body. Okay? So if I spring to the left, I fire with the left. Now, if I twist to the left, so watch me twist to the left, I fire with the right. Because remember, let's say I'm in close to my opponent, I get my head off to the side, his head's right here. This arm's jammed. I can't punch from in here. So what do? I twist, which accomplishes my first goal is to get to the side. I twist, but I also free up space to be able to punch. Now, if I'm in close and I'm jammed, if I twist, guess what? I can't punch when I'm in this close. But when I spring to the side, this arm's free now. I created that space and I can punch out of it. So that is the difference between the twist and the spring. Now, mind you, you can put them in combination. I can go 7-2, spring to the side, twist, and fire. I can double them up. I can twist to this side, twist to this side. I can spring to this side, twist, boom, twist back, okay? Now, let me be real with you, okay? In sparring and fighting, you're probably not gonna twist and spring a lot because a lot of people move, all right? They have a bad habit of moving their feet, okay? So most of my time in sparring, especially when you do the peekaboo, is I'm using my footwork and head movement to get close to fire, to punch my opponent. Or I'm using it to be defensive to counter punch, okay? Because fighting is like in and out, all over, you're all over the place. But if I can get my opponent to shell up against the ropes or get him to stop moving, then I can spring. That's why it's good to set up the spring, set up the twist. For instance, let me give you two examples. I might double jab, right hand, get my opponent maybe to shell up, and then spring to the side. So I'm gonna throw, I'm not just gonna attack a spring and go. Usually that never works. All right, just think on the inside. Maybe I blast the body, twist to the side, and then I can throw my combinations. So that is the difference between a spring and a twist. You hear that terms being thrown all over the place when people talk about peekaboo, which is rightfully so because that's what Cus D'Amatos taught. He wants you to move your head after your last punch. When you get on the inside, he wants you to get to the side where you can hit him and they can't hit you. Okay? So it's always cutting the angle. Remember, the peekaboo style is an aggressive style. You're taking the fight to your opponent. Okay? People try to say it's a super counter punching style, which is true though, but it's not. Peekaboo is an offensive attacking style. I'm pressuring my opponent. I'm taking the fight to my opponent. I'm trying to be exciting. I'm trying to be entertaining. Okay? I'm the bully. I'm trying to be the bully. Okay? And a lot of people say, oh, it's this counter punch. No, it's you're moving, you're offensively using your offense and your defense. I mean, if you happen to, they punch and you slip and you counter punch, that's fine. But a counter punching style, the difference between peekaboo and a counter boxing style is a counter punchers are usually waiting. They're waiting to react and counter punch to their opponent. Where peekaboo is not waiting, they are attacking. That's why the jab is so important in peekaboo. I'm attacking with the jab, moving my head. I'm using my head movement offensively, proactively. If I happen to miss and I punch out of it and it ends up looking like a counter punch, and that's what it is. You got to know the difference. A counter punch is you're waiting on your opponent and then you're counter punching. Okay, you're waiting for your opponent, and there's times you might do that in peekaboo. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, but most of the time you're attacking. Watch Mike Tyson. Watch how many times he counter punches his opponent. It's not that many times. Everybody remembers the Carl Williams fight when he's timing and he slips and counter punches. How many times Tyson do that? How does Mike Tyson fight? It's his one time in a documentary I heard someone say, Jim Jacobs said, Mike Tyson fights you like they stole something from him. Okay, like you stole something from him. Because he's offensive. Mike Tyson is one of the greatest offensive fighters of all time. Number 2 or number 1 is Manny Pacquiao. You know, those guys, when they touch gloves, they attack. They attack. Now, if I attack and move my head and make you miss and keep attacking, all right, even though it's counter punching, I'm not being a counter puncher. Counter punchers wait. They wait and attack when the opportunity arises. Mike Tyson peekaboo is more of an elusive, aggressive attack style. It's an attack style. So that's why it takes a lot of energy. Okay, you got to get in hell of a good shape to be peekaboo, because you're doing first of all, you're throwing a lot of punches, you're attacking, you're throwing in combinations, you're doing all the head movement, you're springing to the side, it takes a lot of energy, okay? So that is it. I hope I clarified the difference between the twist and the spring. Have a good day.